It's me, Wanda B, and you are here with He Said, She Said, but Wanda B on IntellectualRadio.com. I am here today with Valencia. You like, yo, you got the crew. We going old school for 2025. We going old school with some new school thoughts here. Okay, I have with me Valencia, but look, listen to what I got to tell y'all today. Okay. I have been listening to so many shows. We have great shows here at IntellectualRadio.com. And yesterday I was listening to The Inner Circle, and she brought us some people talking about mortgages and how to get mortgages, and really talking to youngsters about how you should start thinking and preparing so you can purchase, be in the right space to purchase what you want to purchase. And I was like, you know what? We be bringing some heavy hitters. I was like, I can't wait till tomorrow because I got to be a heavy hitter. Valencia Murray, my trusted guide. She is an executive coach at Trusted Guide. Here I go. Don't let me mess it up. Girl, put on your glasses and read it. And then you won't mess it up. How about that? Trusted coach, executive coach with Trusted Guides, where we are going to guide you to your retirement destination. Now, a few of us, I know we don't look at it. We trying to retire when we don't have to look it. We want to retire and get to enjoy it. Because I do remember I worked at a company for 25 years. And when I was there, people would retire. And one time a guy, he passed away like soon after retiring. And I was like, he didn't even get to enjoy a day off. And so we're talking about doing this early when you can enjoy life, everything's working, and you can go somewhere. And this is something that my dear friend Valencia has been talking about for a long time. She's been preparing, getting her coins together. And in fact, let me read to you a little bit about Valencia. This will a lot of things I'm paraphrasing based on my knowledge of her. I'm going to tell you a little bit better. Valencia Murray is a business owner and investor, working side by side with her husband, Christopher Murray, who successfully retired at 47 to travel the world and be a super grandma.
I have a real cape too.
Oh, but after seeing how many of the people she knew and loved who are not prepared for the impact of life events, she decided to come out of retirement to focus on financial education and to share her network of experts and advisors with the community. Her passion for empowering people with the secrets that no one ever told us led her to teaching a workshop called Money 101 and Wine, Women, and Wealth. You knew wine, put some wine and some women together. Now add wealth. Oh, Lord. Here we go. She offers personalized guidance focused on helping you to discover the practical strategies to fully funding your future with an income you will never outlive. And as we're talking about whether Social Security will be around and all these other things, this is a way to prepare yourself. And these are conversations we don't always have with each other. Not always, ever for some, ever have. Now, I will say that Valencia's always been talking about this. When others weren't talking about leaving the country, Valencia was already on her way out in some country. I'm like, wait, she was like, oh, I've been here for a month. I'm like, what? When you coming home? This is and I mean this well before I ever heard someone mention they were leaving the country and going to live outside the country. Mrs. Murray was doing this and preparing for her retirement at 47. And thank you for coming out to share some of this knowledge with us so we can go with you.
And that's why I need some people on the beach with me. I need some of my people on the beach with me. So thank you. Thank you. But like you said, we don't talk about it. Right?
No, we don't.
But we don't talk about it because one, we're ashamed to say we don't know something, and two, we're ashamed to really look at the numbers and be real about where we are financially.
And sometimes ashamed that we don't understand it to even try to have a conversation about it. You and I were talking briefly before the show, and I was saying I know a lot of the things with my parents wasn't anything about investing. It was save. And I know at one point in time when I was signing up for 401k, they were telling me in your 20s and 30s you should be being aggressive.
Yes.
Be aggressive, and then and they were telling us the stages. In your 20s, put this much into your 401k. 30s do this, 40s do this, 50s do this. And I was so grateful for that, having that education with it early on when I was signing up for 401k in my 20s. And then one of my dear friends, Kimberly Davis, was like, okay, invest in this, do this, do this. And then silly me, I go back, and when I want furniture, where do I go to? My investment money. I know, I'm gonna tell you,
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, I did it. I was like, oh, I want some dining room furniture. Oh, I got this money over here. Not thinking, I was like, oh, I'll pay myself back. But what? See, nobody ever told me the negatives to doing these kind of things. I'm thinking I'd save the money and it's there to use, and that's not what it was for. And as I'm getting to the younger age where I'm gonna run and kick back, and you're like, wait, all the money I could have had in watching my friends, because my dear friend who suggested that, she's doing well there in her home in Arizona when she left Chicago and moved to Phoenix. And I was like, if I had just listened to her and not dabbled and dabbled in this money, going into it for different things, when versus no, don't touch that, use this. No, and so now I am so grateful that Valencia is willing to share this with us, because so many times we're not, like we said, we're not having the conversations. And I thought this is kind of a good time when I was listening yesterday to a show and somebody was talking about having New Year's resolutions. And I've never been a big New Year's resolution person. But for the people that are, this is a good thing to maybe add to that New Year's resolution.
Exactly. And that's my focus this month for a couple of reasons. One, yes, people are making their resolutions, trying to goals and dream boards and vision boards and things of that nature. And so I just want to add information to
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can it be too late?
If you're dead, it's too late. If you
So as long
are
as you're
3
on this
days
earth
away from dying and you don't have a dime, it's too late. But there are companies out there that you can get started depending on what you have. Like I said, everything is individual. It's situational. But I will tell you, there are people out there still assisting people at age 85, 75. But those are people who thought they were properly preparing and they have a little something to work with that can actually help them.
So if you actually may have that savings, but you weren't aggressively or doing anything with it, it's sitting in a bank, sitting in a fund. Well, I won't say a fund. I don't know. I'll see what you think about that, because I don't really know. That's why I have Valencia here, because it's not my strong suit. Money is not my thing. That's not my strong suit. There's other things I can, but money has never been that's why I have very smart people around me that go, ooh, what should I do here? And when they were telling me what to do, I did it. But I dibbled and dabbled with the money. I did things I shouldn't have done with the money at the time. I did what they told me to do, but I didn't stay diligent to keep doing it. And so then when I was thinking about this, I was like, if you've reached certain ages, can you still have an impact into it? Were you always thinking about this younger, or was there an age that was did you have an aha moment that I need to do this?
I was absolutely horrible with finances. I always said I was going to retire by the time I was 50, but I really didn't know how it was going to happen. So I will have to say the knowledge and the information. I surrendered all financial anything to my husband, because since he was 5, he wanted to know about finances and all of everything surrounding it. So I was introduced to this new way of thinking and focusing and discipline via my husband.
So he helped the thoughts you already had, gave you how to implement it, how to make it happen.
Yes.
And so as we're talking about New Year's resolutions and then wanting to change your life or wanting to do that vision board and say, I want to have this. This is the tools on how we're going to share some ideas on how you could get there. And I love that. I'm ready. And well, like I said, we've been having real estate investors, financial real estate investors telling you how to invest in real estate on the inner circle. I'm going to tell you, go check out her show. The young gentleman said he started thinking about it in college. And maybe a week before that, we had a lady who said in college. And I was like, that I never was thinking about retirement in college. But I was so amazed when he's saying the amount of his properties that he owns yesterday, and how early he was introduced to it. And I told him I would love these. This is what I'm going to sit down with my nieces, my nephews, and my children who are in their 20s and say, look, start listening to this now, because you can be prepared to retire at that age and be comfortable, because we don't know if Social Security is going to be there. They're still they've been doubting this for the last 20 years and
Yes.
it has not stopped with whether that's going to be something you can look forward to.
And they're extending the age out, holding the cheese. If you wait, we'll give you a little more. Come on,
62.
wait.
Okay, 63,
And
64,
it's like
65, 70,
we'll give you
75.
this. At 80, I'm dead. I never even got anything.
But you're always putting into it. You always have to put into it, but you don't know if you'll ever be one that can reap the benefit of that. So I love that this is something that someone can put on their vision board, make as a resolution, start implementing.
Yes.
And thank you to Mr. Murray for share to. Well, you already had that mindset. I'm not even gonna put this all on him.
No, I did
because
have
I knew
the mindset, but
right.
just like you said, when someone told you 401, a Roth IRA, get you a CD, lock you up some money, you followed what you knew. So was I totally blind to the things that you need to do? No. But the next level thinking of, and also real estate, but get to that mindset of passive income.
And what is passive income?
Passive income is I don't have to go check on a building and get a tenant or this or that.
I don't have to get out of bed and go to work every day.
My money is making me money. Okay. And so that's the thing. The principles are missing of money. And that's what so I guess let me just give a little backstory.
Please.
Okay. So my husband and I decided that we wanted to give back via financial literacy, explain to people the types of money, right? When you should be risking it, making sure you have the bucket that's taking care of everything before you go into a risk bucket. No one teaches us this. And so we take our hard-earned money that we really need to live on, survive on, pay our bills on, and we go and say we're going to give it all we got, and we go and invest, or we go start a business and we don't have any capital. We don't have any cash flow. And cash flow is king. You can go in anywhere and say what you have in assets, but cash flow is king. And so that's a totally different mindset from what we're used to be. We're to get you some real estate and this and that, and that's fine. Let real estate be a stepping stone to you being able to provide yourself, because I don't care what you do and how much you love it, there comes a time that you're not going to want to do it. You're not going to want to go and fix up after a tenant. You're not going to want to go and sit across the table and do a deal. You're going to want to enjoy life. And so you're going to need passive income.
Examples of passive income?
Passive income is an annuity. It's exactly what Social Security is. It's the same thing. So we already have the concepts, but we don't think that we can do them for ourselves. So you've been paying into something for years, correct? And then they say, when you get this age, this is what we're going to pay you for the rest of your life. You can do that for yourself, and you can know that it's going to be there. You can do that, but we don't know that. And so that's passive income.
Whether Social Security is there or not,
whether Social Security there is not. And so little tricks on Social Security, for those of us who can get to it, I show people how, if you were thinking, I'm going to wait till I'm 65, 68, and then turn on my Social Security, we don't know what the future holds. Soon as you can get it, if you don't need it because you were going to wait, why not put it somewhere where it's guaranteed to be there and it's going to grow? And so everything that we educate on is simply for people who don't want to lose a dime. If you want to do anything risky under the platform of Trusted Guides, which is under Five Rings Financial, we don't do it. We are about not losing any money. However, some of the products that you can do and some of the kind of accounts that you can have allow you to take money out to then turn around and do the risky things, do the real estate investment. Comes out tax-free. You can pay yourself back or not. You don't have to tell them, oh, it's for this and take a penalty or any of that. It's your money, and your money still grows in spite of the money that you took out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so some of this stuff, when it starts to sound too good to be true, we shut down. So I like to always throw in there to repeat after me. People have been using this for years.
People have been using this for years.
This is not a scam.
This is not
a scam. This is not,
it's
a,
not
scam.
a scam.
It's totally legal.
It's totally
It
legal.
is not a scam.
And this is not a scam. Which, give me an example of one people have told you is a scam.
Well, when you tell people you can't lose money, when I tell people you never pay me a dime, and because of that already, it somehow it has lost some value, right? Instead of looking at it exactly what we always say people don't do. They find out what to do, how to do it, they do it, and then they never come back. And so I'm back. Right? I'm back.
Reaching back to bring people up with you.
Back.
And people say people don't do that.
They say all the time. And so for the ears, they hear me. They can do better. We will do better. My mission is for us to do better. And the reason that I'm on this mission is because in spite of being retired, things happen in my personal life that were like these wow and aha moments at the same time that we are not prepared. I lost my mother-in-law to Alzheimer's, and seeing her go through that process and the cost of $10,000 a month to have her somewhere where you really trust her being, in addition to still paying the mortgage on her house that she's not living in. How many people can survive that? You know, and this is how we have mama in the living room in a hospital bed, and we stress, we can't go out, we making the kids or our mate watch mama or daddy, whoever the case may be. But if we had access to capital, we would make different choices.
We could prepare for our own lives.
I don't want to be a burden to my children and disrupt whatever consistency of life they create for themselves. I don't want to be in the room of a home that they now, from taking care of me, can't afford to move out of, and they got to always remember mama, big mama, dad. And no, ma'am, I do not want to go fund me, you know? And we do these things because we don't expect the unexpected. And so we don't prepare. And then last summer, my husband, once again, wasn't expecting him to get his blood poisoned from an antibiotic and totally like disappear from here for days, mentally gone. And after 9-10 days in the hospital, we had a $154,000 medical bill. Everybody can't survive these things. And so even though I was retired and I was out of the country more than in the country, I think, if I added up,
not a thing,
subtract.
I'm here to tell you, she wasn't here. I go, where are you? And then I see some pictures of her somewhere. I can't even tell you the country because it wasn't always consistent, the same place. And sometimes it would be, was it Mexico?
Yeah,
Where were
Mexico
you?
was the number
Mexico.
one spot.
That's where you were the
Yeah.
long that I could catch you in
Yes.
at
Yes.
any given time. Long before people would talk about this, you've always been saying
Yeah.
this.
And I
So
came out of that bubble, and I didn't want to be honest. I was comfortable in my bubble. But my husband said he was moved to tell us that we had to come out of it. And so I said, after I kicked and screamed a little bit and pouted and was like, well, I want to be on the beach. But ultimately, it
well, thank
it
you.
was necessary.
Well, thank you, because
So
we do we do need people, but I don't think the burden should be on you to do it, but thank you. But thank you, because that's the only way, not the only way, but it's very hard now you can't go back to college and learn these things or go back. So where do we learn the truth? Thank goodness for podcasts that are introducing us to these ideas and concepts. But thank you for deciding that you would take your time off the beach to come and help others. And now we can sit on the beach with you, pull up our
hey,
chairs and be next to you. Because I will say, when you live the retired life and everybody else is going to work, it's kind of lonely sometimes. You like, I want to do this. Let's do this. And I gotta go to work. You're like,
this
you gotta
is
go to work.
true.
Okay.
This is so true. And then, and I'm like, okay, pencil me in whenever lunch dates. You tell me when you ready. You tell me. But yeah, it's with discipline. I'm not gonna say it's easy to do because that would be a lie, to say it's easy to have the discipline alone. But if we come to the round table and we share and we realize we are all in the same game, we have all messed money up, we have lost things, we have made bad investments, we have guilty, and more guilty. We all are. So let's just figure out how to correct it, right? And then get on board and then try to redirect our children, because we know that they learn from us, right? And that it gets in order before our grandchildren pick up those habits. And so by the time our great grandchildren get here, hopefully this is the norm. And we don't have to, because we cannot wait for any school system, including college, to teach you this. Because even in college, when you take which I haven't had one day of, okay, but from what I hear, you still have to take these couple of years of these basic unnecessary classes,
Or even
and they
high school
still
should be teaching it.
they should. But I mean, we can go to high school for free. You're not going to college for free. And so I'm paying you to still not educate me on relationships, budgeting, finances, credit. We're not getting the lessons we need, even when we pay for it. Even when we think we picked the best one, they're not teaching you. They are blindly guiding you down whatever the check box that you said you were taking these courses for. And so we do need people to come out and speak about it. And so I'll do my piece. And so pretty much, how do we get there? How do we even prepare? How do we know if we're not prepared? And so a lot of people think, talk about the 401ks. 401ks are stock market-y. It's a combination of stuff. That's why they tell you pick if you want to be aggressive or whatever, because that's going to determine your risk level. But let's be honest, it doesn't matter if you were low or high risk, whatever that number is in your 401, it's not guaranteed to you. The day that you get ready to retire, the stock market dictates what that number is going
if
to
it's
be.
still that number, no matter.
Correct. Now, can you imagine being 70 years old and you think you have $700,000 and the market crashes 10, 20, 30, 40%? What happens? Now you have to think about a loss of 50, 100, $150,000. And so what we educate people on ways that you can be your own 401k, never lose a dime, in an index account. And an indexed account is an account that you would deposit your money just in the same manner that you're doing your 401. But there is no room for loss because it's not in the stock market, but it mirrors the stock market. So what does that mean? That means if the stock market goes up, your account will go up. If the stock market goes down, your money holds. There's no gain, no loss. Stock market goes down again, you get no gain, no loss. Stock market goes up, yours goes up. Stock market goes up, yours goes up. So the reason, but you don't get, if you want to call this a catch, because everybody's like, what's the catch, right? I already know that's what you were thinking. So here's the catch. If you want me to give you a catch, the catch is you don't get the complete upside of the market. So if the market goes up 20%, you don't get the full 20%. You may get about 12, 13% because you're trading off that extra percent to never lose. Okay. So
if it drops 20, you're trading that off that you didn't take that hit of the 20.
Exactly. You didn't take any of the hit if it dropped 20, right? Okay. So for the span of 2000,
and that's index?
That's an index account, yes. And so from the year 2000 to 2020, in real life ups and downs of the market, if you would have had $100,000 in an indexed account, and I had $100,000 and I put it in the stock market, in 2020, I would have 80 something $1,000 less than what you have.
If you did the stock market and I did the index.
Stock and you did the index account.
Because of the drops that you didn't have to incur the super dips.
You didn't have to incur them. I'm in the stock market, so I lost. And when I lose and then the stock market comes back, I need to gain much more to even get back.
Okay.
Where you're not trying to get back to anything
because it didn't move with the
index. It did not. The years that the stock market lost. So those are the things that we could be preparing for ourselves.
And that's something the trusted guides guide us with.
This is what the trusted guides do. And here's also what, because people say, okay, well, what makes us different, right? Number one, we're with a company, backed by a company, Five Rings Financial. And their platform was very similar to Chris and I motto, is that life is a team sport. Don't try to do this thing alone. And those of us who get that, and those people who are successful, they always can attribute their success to their tribe because they're not alone and they know they didn't get there alone. And so with Five Rings Financial, they back us to allow us to create our own agency with their support and their resources and relationships. And so instead of you coming and you getting all this product knowledge, and then I sit down with you and try to remember, or I get good at one or two of them. And so I'm constantly placing my clients in these these particular contracts. We sit down as a team. So you have a team that is working for you and with you. And we sit down and we assess your entire situation. Because a lot of times people are not even aware that they have vehicles that they could be putting somewhere else and doing things. People are sitting on pensions. They have Roths. They have no idea what's going on. They even have whole life policies with cash values, but nobody takes them through the process and checks back with them after they have them in the contract to show them, like you said, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do this. But what if you and I on a yearly basis get together to discuss? Let's talk about where your indexed account is. This is where we are. Don't hurt yourself. Don't take more than this.
And I have money out there that I'm not even, I left the company that I had money with, and I left it there. It's sitting at that company, and I get the envelopes, and I was like, I don't know I have no clue what to do with it next. So that envelope sits there, and I don't even go into it or check with it. And so I have money I could be working with roll over into something that I don't do.
Exactly. And it could be growing. You could put it, and it, like I said, it is so customized because your goals are different from my goals, and so we bring you to into an environment. So we do the workshops because it's general. We have to just give you the general gist of
Everybody's
what's
situation is
possible.
different.
Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's goals are different. Everybody's, like, if I say, what does retirement look like to you? And I ask someone else, it's two totally different things. They want a tiny house in the forest. You want a beachfront villa. It's like, this one says, I want lifetime American Airlines front thing. And now this one wants a private jet. I don't know. What does it look like? But the numbers ultimately dictate, right? And so there's an assessment that we do. And if you want something risky, if you want overnight success, if it's anything that we don't offer, or even if we assess where you have your money and it's in a better position for you and what you're telling us your goals are, then
You tell us.
you are in good hands wherever you are. That's good. You have this. You're covered in the proper way to reach your goals. And then that's it. And so a lot of people can't say that. And so and then on a yearly, like I said, we get in touch with you. We keep in contact. We tell you about new things that are coming out, because what's best for you at 30, it's kind of the same mindset. Like I said, we've heard these things before. We just didn't know we could do them ourselves. What I would suggest for you to do at 30, and then change your strategy at 50. But if someone isn't there to guide you, and
What to
somebody
do
told you
next
what to
with it,
do
right.
30, and then 50, you got to figure out who else to talk to at 50.
Exactly.
And then you got to figure who else to talk to at 70. Your trusted guides, we guide you to the destination. So, and time is of the essence. So the earlier, the better on all facets of, any kind of investing or saving. And so, yeah, if you don't know where to start, I start with a conversation. Just start with a conversation. And and that's how we, through conversation, you don't know how much information you already have said. Like, what do you want to do? How many kids you got? That in itself just said your why. What are you doing? What are you trying to do? But I think also we like to help people do a little homework on your own. Take a number and say, oh, I think I should have, and let's say everything goes well and you retire and you have $500,000 in your 401. Let's say you retire at 70, $500,000. This is what you got. You feeling good, right? One, your home needs to be paid off, right? Don't ever want another car, is what you have to think of. And now take that $500,000, divide it by the number of years you're giving yourself to live after 70. Let's go with 20. Say you're going to make it to 90. How much is that? That tells you how much you can use of that money per year before you die. Now, if you die at 90, if good, you made it on whatever that 20 something $1,000 is. If you know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is.
Yes.
And if you can make it on $25,000 a year, then that's good. You hit your goals. But if you didn't do the math and really get that aha moment, that $500,000 without me doing anything else but leaving it, putting it in the bank, living off of it, you're going to run out. And so so there's different stages. So even things like when you get 59 and a half, I would tell someone that's been putting in their 401, that's been matching, don't put anything over the match. Invest the rest that you would have done in your own. Soon as you get 59 and a half, 90 something percent of companies, you can roll your 401 out of their company while you still work there.
Oh, I didn't know that. While you still work there.
While you still work there, if the age requirement of 59 and a half years old has been met. And so how good is that to say, oh, I'm 59 and a half. I have $300,000 in there. Get it. And then I guarantee you, you won't lose a penny of that ever. How much you're going to get depends. And here's the other thing. Even when you do that, there are more questions. Okay, so now, do you want to access your money Or do you want to lock this money up because you want to create an income for life later? Or would you like to do something now that can turn into that later? What are your goals? So it's very comprehensive and it's very streamlined for the individual and what they want. And we take as many as 2 to 20 to 30, however many times it takes for you to understand and really grasp everything. Because what we understand is this is your life, this is your money, this is your savings. And there is too much scamming going on these days. And you don't want to trust someone that is not going to keep the word and do what they said.
Would you have any suggestions on how to really detect a real scam? What is something that may be a red flag
I think
to hear?
the scams, red flags are whatever across the board, from Ticketmaster scam to whatever. If they're asking you for any of your personal information and banking information, especially if they said it was free, right? Until you have actually gotten to a place where you know you are in a contract. Don't do things with people that you can't contact, or just you've never seen a face. Because even then, I got scammed and I'm looking at Zooms and these people are saying they had built businesses and offices in the back. Come on out. It can still happen. But that's why this is important, because the people that know me trust me. The people that know Wanda trust Wanda, and I'm a real live person. And this is how we're supposed to do this. We have let the internet take over from that personal word of
Yesterday, I
mouth.
heard someone say, "I'm gonna go research this on TikTok."
Exactly. And that's where they
I was
get
like,
their
TikTok is a
ideas from.
research place.
Yes.
Okay.
And so what the things that I'm speaking of now is now heavily becoming these buzzwords, which makes me feel the even more like this sense of urgency, because now there's getting ready to be a flood of information that people may not necessarily know how to structure your contracts for you to do what they said. Not that what they're saying isn't true, but do they have the actual knowledge and resources to give you what's best for you? And that's why, like I said, once again, we attack it from a team effort. You have a team that will always be for all your questions. We brainstorm between, because maybe you might know something, or I may had a client different than you had, and you ran into this before, and you know how to do this, and put that person in the best thing. When we walk away, we feel like we put our mother, we put our grandmother, we put our sister in the best possible situation for their finances to reach their goals.
I love it. You have a seminar coming up, or you all have an event coming up?
Yes. So this month is actually Living Benefits Awareness Month. It is the first month that it is being kicked off from in the insurance company world. And we thought that we would do that, since it's Living Benefits Awareness. In addition to people are making their goals, I am currently still putting some things together. I would like to also have information, because when you do any of these things, you should take that extra step and be knowledgeable about wills, trusts, and probates and things. So I'm trying to get a whole health and wealth information day going, but the day is set. The location is set. It will be January 18th from 12 to 3 at the South Holland Rec Center on 170th Street in South Holland. And so I would love for you guys to come out. The event is free. Nothing will be for sale. All information, even the vendors, if I have vendors that with any health products or anything there, they will only be allowed to give samples. This is pure information. Come and get information to be able to add to your health goals, your wealth goals, and protecting yourself. And so that is coming up. The living benefits is a big piece as well. In addition to the indexed accounts, living benefits is a staple that we are trying to heighten the awareness and get people to move. There's already so many people out here with life insurance already that saw the importance of protecting their family or not leaving their family burdened with debt and trying to bury them and all their final expenses. But the piece of living benefits is so absolutely trailblazing and amazing and necessary. So most people are kind of familiar with like a disability rider or
The
long-term
whole
riders
life
and things. Yeah, and
or
then you'll get
life.
the terminal illness. So like if you are told that you have 2 years or less to live, then you can go in and get 90% of your death benefit. Okay. But living benefits does something like that if you don't die from a life event. And let's be honest, we're having more life events at younger ages out of nowhere. And we can have a debate on where it's coming from. Is it the food? Is it the chemtrails? Is it the
Is it the chicken?
perm? Right. Is
The
it the
perm,
salad?
yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Was it Johnson and Johnson baby powder? we we don't know why,
We don't know why.
but it's happening. People under 50 are getting cancer and strokes and heart attacks and all of these things. And now living benefits can help you have access to a big pile of cash, tax free, right? And it doesn't cost any more than what you're probably already paying. So, one, if you don't have it, at all, you need to get it. But if you already saw the importance and you're paying per month to make sure that your family doesn't have to suffer after you're gone, how about you not suffer while you're here? And so, what makes it so good is that the money that you get is tax free and you get to do what you want to do with it. It's not assigned to a doctor or in the compartmentalized to tell you that this has to go to medications. So if you want to pay off your house, if you want to take a trip around the world, if you wanted to um, go and get some kind of medical things that's not here in the country, or maybe it is in the country, but your insurance doesn't cover it. Whatever, there are no limits on what you can do with your money. And what better way to deal with already the emotional and the mental stresses of some of those diagnoses than to not have to worry about how the bills are going to get paid and not rushing yourself back to work. And so that is like the biggest thing. And I when you start to know people that have these things, it gets personal. Right?
Right.
And you wish you knew sooner. You wish you had people that you wish you could have told. And currently we have a colleague of mine that is out here screaming to the top of his lungs about living benefits. Is currently in the hospital waiting for a heart. And so, as he's selling living benefits, he had to use living benefits, but luckily he had them. And he was 31.
Oh, so young.
And I'm talking about, working out, beautiful wife, 2 kids, helping someone move one day, went to pick up a box, felt short-winded, short breath. They told him it was pneumonia. Took the stuff, wasn't working, went back, and they found out that he had only 8% of what his heart should have been doing. He was only had 8%. So yeah, congestive heart failure at such a young age. They still can't even tell him why, how, what, right? And so he's currently in the hospital now to get to the top of the list and everything. But things can happen, man. A car accident can put you out.
Could be
It
anything.
could be brain trauma, all these things. Living benefits can help you financially. Take that stress off of yourself, take it off of your family. If you do nothing else, trust me to guide you to least doing that. Protect yourself, because all the other things, the index accounts, all the things um that you can do to prepare, if you go down, you can't prepare anymore, right? And so let's take care of ourselves.
So the
Let's just
sooner the better
the
with this stuff.
sooner the better before you have the health issues, because let's be honest, it is life insurance. So your habits, your health issues, what medications you may be on is going to affect your costs and or insurability at all. But I tell people all the time, even if it becomes out of range, the beauty of the indexed accounts can be a backup plan for that. Just be prepared for anything, because you can access your money at any time in the indexed accounts. So, to answer your question, is it too late? It may be too late for you to do it this way, but we're going to guide you to a way that works for you and your situation, whether it be financial or physical with
So
your
what
health.
would you suggest is the first steps?
The first step is to call and get an assessment. Just get an assessment. It is not the kind of assessment that there's this question. We just meet because we want you to know who you're talking to. We do it via Zoom all the time. We have like I said, the in-person event is going to take place in January. We're trying to finalize and get the proper location to support us in the cash flow club, where we're going to be teaching at ages 14 and up, male, female, old, young, whatever, come in and play this board game that was created by Robert Kiyosaki. um, just start the conversation, feel comfortable, do your research, fact check what we tell you, um and then let's go from there. And I know that you will be comfortable. I know that before you do anything, because we can sense if you're comfortable or not, and we're not going to do it if I know you don't understand what I'm saying, and you're not asking me the right questions. And it's funny, because every time someone to sit down and say, no, I'm ready, I know I want to do this, and we'll ask them a couple of questions, so blah blah blah. Oh yeah, I never thought of that. I'm gonna go back to the table, and they appreciate that, because I didn't just try to hurry up and just tell you.
Because you said you wanted it. Let's do
Right,
this.
because let's make sure this is that you understand and think about this and think about how you want to maneuver the next 5 or 10 years, and be honest about it. And so what I would advise you at 50 is not what I would advise my 67, 68-year-old clients that I know within 5 years they want to sit down. So the assessment is the first part. The first part is the assessment. And from there, we can even tell you if we're even your people, and with what your goals are. And then we help you plan your goals. And then once we have the goals, then we create a plan after the goals, and then we execute. And then you have this ever lifetime monitoring partnership, where we get back with you. And because of the plan we created, because we know you're 55, the plan was at 59, let's roll your 401 out of that and put it into an IUL. And then when it gets to this age, turn it over into annuity. And now you get paid for,
IUL.
yeah.
Never heard of that.
It's an index universal life.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a combination of an index account with the life insurance attached to it that also has the living benefits. And because of that, it becomes a tax-free index account. Okay, what can we use these things for? We can use them as $1 million babies. We can take, let's say if you had a baby today and you put $100 in the account every month for 65 years. That would be probably, I think I did the math, between 70, 80, don't quote me, but I know it's not more than 80,000 that you would have deposit of your own dollars. By 65 untouched, that's $1 million. Okay. And so this is how we can start to really set up the true generational wealth. And so the cash flow is so that we can teach us about money, budgeting sheets through games, because there's no need to make your grandbaby a millionaire at 65 if they don't know what to do with money, right? So that was one thing you can do with these index IULs. Business owners who are now been mandated for so many employees that they have to give them some type of retirement. Don't just pick anything because you have to do it. Like, this is how you retain great employees, especially in the sector of Black business. We always say we don't stick with each other. We're not competitive with our pay and our benefits. So just take the time. If you're mandated to do it, trust us to guide you for the best thing for your company, that you can keep your money, more of your taxes, and bless your employees with something that's really solid that they can have for their future. And so you got the businesses, you have the babies, you have, and then let's talk about this here baby thing. People set their kids up with these funds for the college that can be used when they go to college, but that's making a decision that your child is going to go to college. What about the flexibility to letting them decide? And at 16, if you want to get them a car, you can go into this account and get them a car. Let's say at 20, they say, I don't want to go to college. I want to get my first house. You can go in this account and you can do that. And meanwhile, while you're taking this money out tax free, it's still growing. So we had a client, a colleague share their story about a client when the IUL total dollars that they put in was 430 something odd $1,000, $435,000. But the total monies they were able to withdraw from the way that you can being guided and making sure you pull the money out when your numbers are here, don't go exceed this, $4 million is what they were able to get out over the life of this IUL. And this is your example of passive income. And so I urge people, I don't care how you're getting your money, get your coins. But what are we doing with them to make sure that when all the home selling and the home flipping and the dance instructor and the workout things and whatever we're doing, I mean, do it. But let's make sure the profits from that we're going to profit from when we actually want to sit down, and pass on the legacies.
I hear one good thing that anyone can do right now is think about where do you want to be? What age is that you like to retire? Where do you see yourself in 25 years, 30 years? And just starting with that thought process doesn't cost you anything, and that's something you're prepared then to come to the trusted guides and have put some thought into, so you can answer some of those questions, so you can go have the conversation how to get started, how to go to the next level, because those aren't I don't know if people like to talk about the future, or is it because they don't see how they can get there or don't think it's possible, so why even does it feel like you're dreaming by thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna retire at 47." Like that's such a it sounds
Far
like
out. It's too way
too
out. Yeah.
too far out, that you're too young maybe to think like that's and you're in the midst of working, 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 that you can't think about retiring. But to start having these thoughts, to ha- put these goals out there for yourself, put it in the thought, whether and life may, like we said, sometimes life makes the decision for you, and you don't get to choose if you're going to retire now or it can't work anymore. And so now having things in place that it's not being reactive to a situation, but being proactive and having it all, you already know that you'll be okay. And to have
Yes.
that's a comfort in itself. And
Yes.
that helps your health in not having to worry about your future like that. So, and knowledge is definitely power, and that you all are sharing the knowledge is so nice. I love that. So, and if anybody has questions on Facebook, I'm going to have to go back later. I don't have access to see the Facebook comments or if anybody's asking any questions, but we'll address those later. So, you have an event coming up. We know it's January 18th. I'll be promoting that and giving you more information to come out and get information on how to get started with this, so you can join Valencia and Christopher on the island. So
Please.
if it's an island that day, they could be in Europe. I don't know where they'll be. You can join wherever they are for that day. I know I know Valencia likes the beach. I don't know where, but anywhere they want to go, you can say, I'll meet you out there. So let's prepare to meet them out there, or just to be able to relax, because there may be a month you say, I don't want to go to work. Well, you can do things because you want to do them and not because you have to do
Yes.
them.
Yes. Yes.
And I think you then can also have more time to work on your hobbies. You may want to say I want to start a business,
Mm-hmm.
but didn't have the capital to do that, where you now can plan for different things that you would like to do. And so having the thinking about them is free, right? We're not asking you to
Yes.
come up with any dollars, to just have a heart to heart with yourself.
Yes.
And sometimes and I think sometimes we don't, because we think it's not even a possibility.
Mhm.
But we have someone here who, and I know she's done it. I'm going to tell you, I have many times contacted retired Valencia and said, "Where are you? What country are you in right now? How's the grandbabies? Where are you?" And then I get I'm out here. I'm doing this out here on the beach. I'm doing this. Oh, we just left the beach. We're coming in. I mean, this is somebody that I know walks the walk well before it was a thing to say you were I hear many people lately, or at least during this past election season, we're talking about leaving the country. And I didn't ask them how. I mean, they planned on doing this. I don't know, assume you can do this, actually leave if something you don't like happens. But I know people who have been saying they were going to enjoy life, leave this country, or go sit on the beach, go somewhere warm and not have to be in the cold, well before it became this popular thing to say. And that's why when Valencia told me she was doing this, and I said, "You have to go tell us about this." and being an executive coach at the Trusted Guides, I said, "I trust you as a guide," because I know when she said, "I'm about to retire," she was in the workforce when we were having this conversation. You were in the workforce, and not necessarily unhappy at work either, but just having a goal to retire one day. And not like, "I'm sick of this job, I'm gonna retire." It wasn't any of that. Loved your coworkers, you're enjoying your life, and said, I'm gonna retire though. And started putting that out there, and just seeing her put it together. She and her husband putting all the plans into place, and minimum at that time giving me the terms and how she was doing it. I didn't understand it. I was like, "Oh, okay, okay." But because I know that's not, I've heard of the ones that people always talk about, the 401k and or Roth or IRA Roth, because as I left companies and they said, "Well, roll your 401k over here." And I haven't done nothing with it since. I rolled it over into that because they told me I was supposed to roll it over.
Right.
And then I was like, I haven't checked on that money. That money just sitting there that I don't even look at. I don't even entertain, that could be working for me.
Yeah.
I'm not using what I've done in my younger years the way I should. And so I was like, "Okay, I'm willing. Okay, let me learn how to do this."
Yeah.
Because that money is just sitting there. I was working at that company then, and they told me, "Okay, well, when I decided, okay, I don't want to work here anymore. Okay, I got to roll it over." I rolled it over and walked away.
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, that's the name of a company I've heard of."
Right.
Okay,
Roll
put
it.
it for Prudential.
Right.
Okay, here, Prudential, take it.
Right.
And I walked away. I was like,
Right.
I didn't know what to do next.
Right. I trust Prudential, even though I don't know who Prudential is. They had enough commercials, so I trust Prudential, right?
Right.
And so
Right.
yeah, like even they're still like advising people are still getting advice to go do a Roth IRA, and I tell people all the time that the tax-free index accounts / IULs are Roth IRAs on steroids, because the Roth has income limits. First of all, you can't make over a certain amount, or you can't even contribute. And then there are limits, and yeah, they might increase the limits every year or whatever. And then you still have to be that 59 and a half in order to start touching that money. Those restrictions are not attached to the index accounts that we can structure for people. So all those things, like I said, people told you what to do, but then they let you go. You wrote it over, and then because you're not important as the gazillion dollar accounts that they get.
Because the amount
right?
I'm rolling over is
so
not $1 million.
So you're unimportant to them. Well, my people are important to me. And so that's what this is about. You only have $3,000 in the pension. Okay, well, let's make it 4. You know what I mean? You were only going to be able to use it for 5 years. Okay, well, how about I make it last for this many years? It'll be better than what you have. That's what I will tell you. You will be in a better position. Will it be to where your goals? That depends on where you are. What are you trying to do? And what are you willing to change to with the time that you do have to pivot,
Right.
But we it's a no judgment zone. Just come, get assessed. Like you said, that was great advice. Have that conversation because we haven't had it. We haven't had it. Have it with yourself. So when someone asks you, you have an answer.
Because right now I have no answer really. Like,
Mhm.
where do I want to go next with it? I dropped it over there and walked away. I forget about it. They sent me an envelope and I was like, oh yeah. I still don't know what to do with it, so I don't even open the envelope. I'm like, I don't know what to do with the information in there. I'll open it and then I pull it out and read it. I was like, oh, okay. And I put it back down. So now maybe making those decisions, or it doesn't even have to be a decision right now,
Right.
but it can be a plan where you
Mhm.
have a plan and a goal, and you make goals in your life for smaller things,
Mhm.
and now to stretch this out a little bit longer so you can be working on these goals and plans, and you're earning the income, so
Mhm.
have your income work for you, and what they say, work smarter and not harder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Jeff Bezos is not at the Amazon warehouse.
He's not on the
He's not
assembly
there.
line
He
making
not.
sure my package
He
come
hasn't
tomorrow.
dropped. He has not listened. He's the one that has not listened to your delivery instructions. It wasn't him. I promise. He was. It was not him.
Mhm.
Passive. Passive. Yeah. Sit down. And that's why you wonder why do they sell their companies? Because they even people who don't even are not even involved on that level. They're only involved mentally, sit at the table. Even they sell their companies at some point. Like, you know what? I'm done with all of this.
Right.
So we know we're
I
gonna
want to
get
go up in
there.
space.
Yeah, I'm just saying, whatever it is, whether you want to go in space or just your own space, your tiny space, whatever
Right.
it is, your dream, your dream is valid. Your goals are valid.
Whatever
Just
they
don't
are.
compare it to nobody else's. Just dream your dream. And then we can help you get there. Just make sure you know your dream.
And that's the thing. Sometimes we don't know what we want because we've never really thought about it.
We haven't had time to think about it. We've been going to work, we've been paying the bills, we've been trying to raise the kids. And the lack of money, to me, this is now I'm making this up, this part right here. This is my personal opinion. The lack of money, you don't know what you like with it because you haven't tried it. Because let's be honest, you haven't tried so many things because of the lack of finances. You haven't tried a mountaintop to say I like mountains better than I like the beach. Just because we ran to the beach, we love the beach, but the mountains are beautiful. But do you know what? So we're
Exactly.
limited, and so you need time and money to discover, figure out what you want to do, and you can do it. It could be done. It could be done.
And it could be done. And we also mentioned preparing for the end of life, other things that
Yes.
we may need money
Mhm.
for,
Mhm.
or as we say, life can definitely life, and unexpected things can come up, and being prepared for those unexpected things where you don't have to borrow, or you have let your money work for you to be able to help you in these instances, and there's ways to
Yes.
do that. You've mentioned
Yes.
some,
Yes.
and these are some that I'm definitely not aware of. IUL.
Yes. And I just tell people all the time, just it doesn't matter who you've listened to, who your policy is through. I know they've been your good friend for a long time. People can only offer you the products in their wheelhouse. Okay. And so over 400 and something insurance companies in America, only 10 of them offer living benefits. We have relationship with 8 of the 10. So um it's not necessarily a malicious reason that you don't have it or know about it. They don't know about it because the company that they're with. So
Doesn't offer it.
doesn't offer it, and they don't know about it. And so I just urge you, it's and it's not cheating on someone. Sometimes people feel like, oh, I'm so loyal to my friend, I can't go get this product from you because they sell the same thing. But that's what I'm trying to tell you, it's not the
It's
same
not the
thing.
same thing.
It's not the
It's
same thing.
divesting, not
Yeah,
trying something.
yes,
You can
and
have
be
more than one way.
diverse. You don't have to take everything, but if you do discover what something is better for you and your family, then just tell your friend to come on and become a trusted guide, and they can help lots of people.
And they're more than welcome to take a few. You can leave there and take
Exactly,
this
and
and
that's
move this over here.
exactly, if that fits your goals, that we wouldn't advise you to do anything other than. That's the whole thing. But just take the time. Don't be so sure
But
that you have
in the
all the
bank,
pieces.
we do know that just having your money in the bank, I don't know, what is it, even 1%? Do they give any kind of return as they use your money?
Yeah,
Banks
they
use your
get it,
money?
but they don't give it to you. Yeah, and even a CD, I think the highest I saw in the last year was like a 5%. And you have to find it. And then even then, it doesn't grow with compound interest. It's like a simple interest. So you're not really gaining a lot of money on your money. And you locked it up for them to make way more. So like I said, we got the concepts. You put your money in the CD, they give you 4%, but they made 10, 12, 35. So when we go back to the index account, we're being honest with you. You're not going to lose any money, but you can't get all of it. But we're not selling it like, woo, come get this great 4%. Don't look at this 20 that I got over here. Don't look over there. Don't look over there. And so, like I said, we have the concepts are out here. We're exercising them. We're using them. We're just not aware that we can take those same concepts and take that power in our own hands is what we could do.
Well, Valencia, tell them what they should do next as we wind down. What is a tip you would tell everyone to get started with this, to get in touch with a trusted guide, or to how can they help themselves? The first, something minor just to get started, and what to do next, and how to reach you.
I will say this. You gave the best advice that I could have even thought of myself, is to have that conversation. Go ahead, have the conversation with yourself, with your spouse, with your children. What are your plans? What do you want to do? And then reach out, give me a call. Or you can reach me via email. I will give you both of those. The phone number is 312-767-9090. That is 312-767-9090. And you can reach me at Valencia. That's my first name. V as in Victor, ALENCIA at Teams Energy Group. That's teamsenergygroup.com. All right. And so you can reach out to that. I would love to see your face in the place January 18th. It is a Saturday. I know you guys have got football and all that stuff like that, but come out and get some information. We will have a live in-person workshop, Money 101, teaching you the principles, showing you, going into a little more depth with visuals and things of that nature for you to understand index accounts, living benefits, and more. Yeah, I'm on Facebook as Valencia Murray. Inbox me, do whatever you need. Even if you cannot make the event, whenever you're available, I'm available, and we can always get together via video call and get the same information.
She
The
can get a
same, I could give
one-on-one.
a one-on-one. You got a group of friends, you got a panel of people that you think they need to hear this, your job, your friends, your whatever. Call me and I'll be there in my Michael Jackson voice. And it is free.
I like that idea. Get a group. If you can get a group of friends together for a jewelry party and get together for wealth. You have the women wine and wealth.
Yes,
Get the
ma'am.
ladies together and say, okay, ladies, let's put some money aside and let's do this. Let's learn how to do, how to invest, how to have that wealth. If we share our Amazon links of how to purchase,
Mhm.
and sometimes just preparing for the future is so important, because we want a future, we know that. And I do think sometimes we don't allow ourselves to have sometimes it's lack of knowledge, really not knowing what to do with it. So this helps. Or people doing something that you go, okay, I don't want to do that. Where being introduced to something different is nice.
Yes.
I like that. Okay, so also give the number again.
All right. The phone number again is 312
7
7. Look, I'm trying like, the business number. You don't keep that. No,
Right.
I know. 312-767-9090. That is 312-767-9090. Valencia at teamsenergygroup.com. We'll put it in the comments as
Put
well.
it in the
And
comments
so that you can get that. And once again, Valencia Murray on Facebook that you're already watching live. You can hit me on my inbox and I will get back to you ASAP.
Thank you, Valencia,
Thank
executive coach of
you.
Trusted Guide. She's my trusted guide. I told her, I said, I trust you. I really do. And I was like, because I know you've done this. I
Yeah.
know you live this. You have been doing this from the moment you learned about it. You took off running with it. You were like, oh yeah, I trust him. We're doing this. And next thing you know, she was gone. What country are you in? Oh, girl, I've been in Mexico for this month. I'm like, oh, okay. I've seen someone do it. Okay, I'm retired. Went from, I was like, 1 week she was working, the next week, bye bye.
Oh, yeah.
She never worked again from that moment on.
Yeah.
So somebody who uses what she uses. Thank you. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, guys.
I'll meet you on the beach or on the mountain. I don't know about the mountain. I like the beach. Okay, guys, thank you for tuning in to IntellectualRadio.com. I want you to get the message, contact Valencia. And like I said, we have so many other shows. The Inner Circle, if you're into real estate, her show has been something I sit with notes and really for the youth of how to get started with investing if real estate is your thing. But now we've been introduced to something different if real estate is not. Okay, I'm Wanda B. Tune in to IntellectualRadio.com. Or you may even want your own show. Maybe you want to say, I would like to talk about what I do. You know what? You can give us a call, 708-223-8953 if you'd like to have your own show at Intellectual Radio. Thank you for tuning in to He Said, She Said with me, Wanda B, on IntellectualRadio.com.